our Bible in Your Reading Plan. I am Shanique, and we are on day number 22. And today we're going to be reading from Exodus chapter 24 to 27, and I'll be reading from the New American Standard Bible. If you're just joining us, we're currently reading the Bible in a year from Genesis to Revelation, and you can find a link to the printable plan that we're using in the description box below. We also have some reflection questions as well that you can download, and you can find all of this in the description box below. And if you haven't already, I encourage you just to hit that notification bell. That way you get notified whenever we drop a new video. All right, Exodus 24 to 27. Exodus chapter 24. Then he said to Moses, "Come up to the Lord, you and Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel, and you shall worship at a distance. Moses alone, however, shall approach the Lord, but they shall not approach, nor shall the people come up with him." Then Moses came and reported to the people all the words of the Lord and all the ordinances, and all the people answered with one voice and said, "All the words which the Lord has spoken we will do." And Moses wrote down all the words of the Lord. Then he got up early in the morning and built an altar at the foot of the mountain with 12 memorial stones for the 12 tribes of Israel. And he sent young men of the sons of Israel, and they offered burnt offerings and sacrificed bulls as peace offerings to the Lord. Moses took half of the blood and put it in basins, and the other half of the blood he sprinkled on the altar. Then he took the book of the covenant and read it. As the people listened, and they said, "All that the Lord has spoken we will do, and we will be obedient." So Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people and said, "Behold, the blood of the covenant which the Lord has made with you, in accordance with all these words." Then Moses went up with Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel. And they saw the God of Israel, and under his feet there appeared to be a pavement of sapphire, as clear as the sky itself. Yet he did not reach out with his hand against the nobles of the sons of Israel. And they saw God, and they ate and drank. Now the Lord said to Moses, "Come up to me on the mountain and stay there, and I'll give you the stone tablets with the law and the commandments which I have written for their instruction." So Moses got up along with Joshua his servant, and Moses went up to the mountain of God. But to the elders he said, "Wait here for us until we return to you. And behold, Aaron and Hur are with you. Whoever has a legal matter, have him approach them." Then Moses went up to the mountain, and the cloud covered the mountain. The glory of the Lord settled on Mount Sinai, and the cloud covered it for 6 days. And on the seventh day he called to Moses from the midst of the cloud. And to the eyes of the sons of Israel, the appearance of the glory of the Lord was like a consuming fire on the mountaintop. Then Moses entered the midst of the cloud as he went up to the mountain, and Moses was on the mountain for 40 days and 40 nights. Exodus 25. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Tell the sons of Israel to take a contribution for me. From everyone whose heart moves him, you shall take my contribution. This is a contribution which you are to take from them: gold, silver, and bronze, violet, purple, and scarlet material, fine linen, goat hair, rams, skins, dyed red, fine leather, acacia wood, oil for lighting, balsam oil for the anointing oil, and for the fragrant incense, onyx stones and setting stones for the ephod, and for the breastplate. Have them construct a sanctuary for me, so that I may dwell among them, according to all that I am going to show you, as the pattern of the tabernacle and the pattern of all its furniture, so you shall construct it. Now they shall construct an ark of acacia wood, 2.5 cubits long, 1.5 cubits wide, and 1.5 cubits high. You shall overlay it with pure gold. Inside and out you shall overlay it, and you shall make a gold molding around it. You shall also cast 4 gold rings for it, and fasten them on its 4 feet. 2 rings shall be on one side of it, and 2 rings on the other side of it. And you shall make poles of acacia wood, and overlay them with gold. You shall put the poles into the rings on the sides of the ark, to carry the ark with them. The poles shall remain in the rings of the ark, they shall not be removed from it. You shall put into the ark the testimony which I shall give to you. And you shall make an atoning cover of pure gold, 2.5 cubits long and 1.5 cubits wide. You shall make 2 cherubim of gold. Make them of hammered work at the 2 ends of the atoning cover. Make 1 cherub at one end and 1 cherub at the other end. You shall make the cherubim of one piece with the atoning cover at its 2 ends. And the cherubim shall have their wings spread upward, covering the atoning cover with their wings and facing one another. The faces of the cherubim are to be turned toward the atoning cover. Then you shall put the atoning cover on top of the ark, and in the ark you shall put the testimony which I will give to you. There I will meet with you, and from above the atoning cover, from the 2 cherubim which are upon the ark of a testimony, I will speak to you about every commandment that I will give you for the sons of Israel. You shall also make a table of acacia wood, 2 cubits long and 1 cubit wide, and 1.5 cubits high. You shall overlay it with pure gold and make a gold border around it. And you shall make for it a rim of a hand width around it, and you shall make a gold border for the rim around it. You shall also make 4 gold rings for it, and put rings on the 4 corners, which are on its 4 legs. The rings shall be close to the rim, as holders for the poles to carry the table. And you shall make the poles of acacia wood and overlay them with gold, so that with them the table may be carried. You shall also make its dishes, its pans, its jars, its libation bowls, with which to pour drink offerings. You shall make them of pure gold. And you shall set the bread of the presence on the table before me continually. Then you shall make a lampstand of pure gold. The lampstand, its base, and its shaft are to be made of hammered work. Its cups, its bulbs, and its flowers shall be of one piece with it. 6 branches shall go out from its sides, 3 branches of the lampstand from its one side, and 3 branches of the lampstand from its other side. 3 cups shall be shaped like almond blossoms on the one branch, a bulb and a flower, and 3 cups shaped like almond blossoms on the other branch, a bulb and a flower, the same for 6 branches going out from the lampstand. And on the lampstand, 4 cups shaped like almond blossoms, its bulbs and its flowers. A bulb shall be under the first pair of branches coming out of it, and a bulb under the second pair of branches coming out of it, and a bulb under the third pair of branches coming out of it, for the 6 branches coming out of the lampstand. Their bulbs and their branches shall be of one piece with it. All of it shall be one piece of hammered work of pure gold. Then you shall make its lamps 7 in number, and they shall mount its lamps, so as to shed light on the space in front of it. Its thongs and its trays shall be of pure gold. It shall be made from a talent of pure gold, with all these utensils. See that you make them by the pattern for them, which was shown to you on the mountain. Exodus chapter 26. Moreover, you shall make the tabernacle with 10 curtains of fine twisted linen and violet purple and scarlet material. You shall make them with cherubim, the work of a skilled embroiderer. The length of each curtain shall be 28 cubits, and the width of each curtain 4 cubits. All the curtains shall have the same measurements. 5 curtains shall be joined to one another, and the other 5 curtains shall be joined to one another. You shall make loops of violet on the edge of the outermost curtain in the first set, and likewise you shall make them on the edge of the curtain that is outermost in the second set. You shall make 50 loops in the one curtain, and you shall make 50 loops on the edge of the curtain that is in the second set. The loops shall be opposite each other. You shall also make 50 clasps of gold and join the curtains to one another with the clasp, so that the tabernacle will be a unit. Then you shall make curtains of goat's hair as a tent over the tabernacle. You shall make 11 curtains in all. The length of each curtain shall be 30 cubits, and the width of each curtain 4 cubits. The 11 curtains shall have the same measurements. You shall join 5 curtains by themselves and the other 6 curtains by themselves, and you shall double over the 6th curtain at the front of the tent. You shall make 50 loops on the edge of the curtain that is outermost in the first set, and 50 loops on the edge of the curtain that's in the outermost in the second set. You shall also make 50 clasps of bronze, and you shall put the clasp into the loops and join the tent together so that it will be a unit. The overhanging part that is left over in the curtains of a tent, the half curtain that is left over, shall hang over the back of the tabernacle. the cubit on one side and the cubit on the other, of what is left over in the length of the curtains of the tent, shall hang over the sides of the tabernacle on one side and on the other to cover it. And you shall make a covering for the tent of ram skins, dyed red, and a covering of fine leather above. Then you shall make the boards for the tabernacle of acacia wood, standing upright. 10 cubits shall be the length of each board, and 1.5 cubits the width of each board. There shall be 2 tenons for each board, fitted to one another. That is what you shall do for all the boards of a tabernacle. You shall make the boards for the tabernacle 20 boards for the south side. You shall make 40 bases of silver under the 20 boards, 2 bases on the one board for its 2 tenors, and 2 bases under another board for its 2 tenons. And for the second side of the tabernacle, on the north side, 20 boards, and their 40 bases of silver, 2 bases under one board, and 2 bases under another board. For the back of the tabernacle to the west, you shall make 6 boards. You shall make 2 boards for the corners of the tabernacle at the back. They shall be double beneath, and together they shall be complete. To its top, to the first ring, this is how it shall be with both of them. They shall form the 2 corners, and there shall be 8 boards with their bases of silver, 16 bases, 2 bases under one board, and 2 bases under another board. Then you shall make bars of acacia wood, 5 for the boards of one side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the boards of the other side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the boards of the side of the tabernacle for the back side to the west. The middle bar in the center of the boards shall pass through from end to end, and you shall overlay the boards with gold and make their rings of gold as holders for the bars, and you shall overlay the bars with gold. Then you shall erect the tabernacle according to its plan, which you have shown on the mountain. You shall also make a veil of violet, purple, and scarlet material and fine twisted linen. It shall be made with cherubim, the work of a skilled embroiderer. Then you shall hang it on 4 pillars of acacia, overlaid with gold, their hooks also of gold on the 4 bases of silver. You shall hang up the veil under the clasp and bring in the ark of the testimony there within the veil, and the veil shall serve as a partition for you between the holy place and the most holy place. You shall put the atoning cover on the ark of the testimony in the most holy place. And you shall set the table outside the veil, and the lampstand opposite the table on the side of the tabernacle, toward the south, and you shall put the table on the north side. You shall also make a curtain for the doorway of the tent of violet, purple, and scarlet material, and fine twisted linen, the work of a weaver. And you shall make 5 pillars of acacia for the curtain, and overlay them with gold, their hooks also of gold, and you shall cast 5 bases of bronze for them. Exodus 27. Now you shall make the altar of acacia wood, 5 cubits long and 5 cubits wide. The altar shall be square, and its height shall be 3 cubits. You shall make its horns on its 4 corners. Its horns shall be of one piece with it, and you shall overlay it with bronze. And you shall make its pails for removing its ashes, and shovels, its basins, its forks, and its firepans. You shall make all its utensils of bronze. You shall also make for it a grating, a netting of bronze, and on the netting you shall make 4 bronze rings at its 4 corners. And you shall put it under the ledge of the altar, so that the netting will reach halfway up the altar. You shall also make carrying poles for the altar, poles of acacia wood, and overlay them with bronze. Its poles shall be inserted into the rings, so that the poles will be on the 2 sides of the altar when it is carried. You shall make it hollow with planks as it was shown to you on the mountain, so that they shall make it. You shall make the courtyard of the tabernacle. On the south side there shall be hangings for the courtyard of fine twisted linen, 100 cubits long for one side, and its pillars shall be 20 with their 20 bases of bronze. The hooks of the pillars and their bands shall be of silver. Likewise, for the north side, in length there shall be hangings, 100 cubits long, and its 20 pillars with their 20 bases of bronze. The hooks of the pillars and their bands shall be of silver. For the width of the courtyard on the west side shall be hangings of 50 cubits with their 10 pillars and their 10 bases. The width of the courtyard on the east side shall be 50 cubits. The hangings for the one side of the gate shall be 15 cubits, with their 3 pillars and their 3 bases. And for the other side there shall be hangings of 15 cubits, with their 3 pillars and their 3 bases. And for the gate of the courtyard there shall be a curtain of 20 cubits of violet, purple, and scarlet material, and fine twisted linen, the work of a weaver with their 4 pillars and their 4 bases. All the pillars around the courtyard shall be joined together with silver, with their hooks of silver and their bases of bronze. The length of the courtyard shall be 100 cubits, and the width 50 throughout, and the length 5 cubits of fine twisted linen, and their bases of bronze. All the utensils of the tabernacle used in all its service, and all its pegs and all the pegs of the courtyard shall be of bronze. And you shall command the sons of Israel that they bring you clear oil of beaten olives for the light to make a lamp, burn continually. In the tent of meeting outside the veil which is before the testimony, Aaron and his sons shall keep it in order from evening to morning before the Lord. It shall be a permanent statute throughout their generations for the sons of Israel. Okay. That is our reading for today, day 23, Exodus chapter 24 to 27. And there are a few items that were mentioned, and the first being the Ark of the Covenant. Now, the Ark of the Covenant was the only piece of furniture in the most holy place. The Ark and its contents were kept hidden from view at all times. Now, the Ark itself, it was a wooden chest overlaid with pure gold, and it measured 3.75 feet long, 2.25 feet wide, and 2.25 feet high. And it contained within it 2 stone tablets of the testimony, the Ten Commandments, right? Now, the ark was not to be touched by human hands. 2 wooden poles overlaid with gold were used to transport it and were not to be removed from the ark. The mercy seat or atonement cover was a solid golden slab that fitted perfectly on top of the ark. Now, the golden cherubim, which was hammered out of the same piece of gold, had wings outstretched over the mercy seat and faces that looked downward in reverent awe. Okay. And it was here between the cherubim that God spoke to Moses, the representative of the people of Israel. Now, the other item that we looked at was the table for the bread of the presence. Now, this was a wooden table overlaid with pure gold, and it held 12 loaves of bread of the presence, which were holy, and wooden poles overlaid with gold were inserted throughout the rings of the table when the table was transported. And then we have the golden lampstand, right? Now, the golden lampstand, that was made out of pure gold and it was hammered out of one solid piece, which rested on a base. And the central stem had 6 branches, 3 on either side, together carrying 7 lamps. And the lampstand with its branches were modeled on a flowering almond tree. Okay. And then we discussed the tabernacle tent. Now, the entire tent itself was 45 feet long and 15 feet wide by 15 feet high. Now, the frame structure was covered by 4 layers of cloth and skin, and the veil separating the most holy place from the holy place was made from blue, purple, and scarlet dyed yarns woven in fine twin linen and embroidered with cherubim, and it hung on 4 golden pillars. Now, at the very front on the other side, the veil that formed the entrance to the tabernacle was similar to the veil separating the holy place from the most holy place, except that the cherubim were not embroidered on. It was suspended on 5 golden pillars, right? And in the middle of the tabernacle tent, you had the altar of incense at one section, the golden lampstand at another section, and the table for the bread of the presence at another section. Holy place was a 15-foot cube containing only the Ark of the Covenant. And the high priest could enter only once a year, which was on the Day of Atonement. Now, the holy place of a tabernacle tent was 30 feet long and 15 feet wide and 15 feet high. Okay. And then the other item that we read about today was the bronze altar. And the bronze altar for burnt offerings stood in the outer courtyard with its poles removed. And it was a hollow wooden box overlaid with bronze, measuring 4.5 feet high and 7.5 feet long and wide. And there was a bronze grating on the top and on the sides of the altar. Okay, that is it for today. today, I encourage you to do some research on these items because it helps if you could find a photo online. It helps with the visual so you see what these items looked like. So I encourage you to do that today. Okay, that is our Bible in a Year reading plan for today. I hope you join us tomorrow for a next day in our Bible in a Year reading plan.